Hello. I have My Name is Wrath ready to start coloring it. I have a couple pages I'm going to go over with this one. I have this one here. I'm going to show you. The reason why I chose this one is for a particular reason. This is my reference page that I colored before, using it to get the colors for this scene. Because this happens a couple pages after. So they're in the same environment, same setting, and poop has hit the fan. I'm going to go ahead and flat this one out, and then I'll go over what that other one is about and why I'm choosing that one. I skipped over it. Well, we had some storms, and I was working on it, and my computer shut off. I waited a few hours. When I went to open the file, it said that it was corrupted. That's why you don't save over your flats. That's a good lesson. But I still do. Best practices. It's a happy accident though, because now I get to use it as a little reference. And like I said, I'll tell you why when I pull it back up. Click, 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 click. If you are watching right now, this is kind of a big testing phase that I'm doing. I've started streaming to 3 different places to see how that goes, just to see if we can do a little something more. Also, I got some links, some cool links that you should check out. There's a mug. That's right, a mug. I should have brought it up on screen for you, but you can always check the links. It's a cool mug. And a friend of mine that I do things for, like editing videos, sometimes I'll make like a logo thing for him or adjust the color of his house. I don't know. Just random things. And one time he sent me a text and it didn't make any sense and it was definitely a typo. But he asked me for dolphin pee. And so I was like, okay. Strange request, but whatever. Who am I to judge? So I drew up an image for him of a dolphin peeing. And I sent it to him. And he's like, what the heck is this? You wanted some dolphin pee. So it's made. I figured it's kind of neat looking. It's a bit charming. It's cute. It's just a dolphin peeing rainbow. Check it out. Down in the links, one of the links, probably you can find it on YouTube or something, I'm sure. Again, this is all in the testing phase anyway. It's just a mug. But by next month, should be down to a good format of how everything's going to be working. Is that a rocket? Go with this warm tannish brown color. Tannish brown color. This is My Name is Wrath. We're coming to an end on this one, because I'll be wrapping it up, I think, tomorrow. Pretty sure. I think some things are about to happen. Yeah, page 20. Got 7 pages to go, I believe. Some crazy things are going to happen. I took a look ahead for color choice purposes, and things are going to get a little dangerous. I have another page of Wrath open as well for a reason. I have 5 pages of Wrath open, but one in particular, because I've already colored it once, and we got some storms, and so it corrupted the file, and so I'm going to just recolor it, but I figured it'd be a good time to have like a lesson with it. Lesson 1, don't save over your flats. Lesson 2 is with the line art. The line art will oftentimes tell a story. And in the case of page 15, it tells not only a story, but it tells us the setting and time of day. And so I figured that'd be a good opportunity to address that. Let's say that you get a script and you're reading it and it doesn't give you the time of day. And so you don't really have anything else to rely on. And it's no fault of a writer or anything. It's just one of those things, it's not, maybe it's not a necessary detail to have. And so the artist, it's left up to him to choose that time of day. But you don't get notes on that at all. You just get a page and you're like, I have no idea. Could it be daily? Could it be night? I don't know. And I'll show you how you can kind of tell if you just look at certain things. In this case, it's nighttime. Looks like with a strong, heavy moonlight. I'm not sure what that is. This little circle here, I don't know. I have a guess. And I may have to go to the script to verify that, but I'm not sure what that is. But that's okay. Because now would be a good time to go over to this page 15. And the reason why that I chose it. So, in the line art, let's say, like I said before, we don't know what time of day that it is. It doesn't say in the script what time of day that it is. And so it's up to the artist to choose what time of day. And in this case, he chose noon. And you can tell that it's noon by certain indications in his line art. Shadows, where the shadows are coming from. We have a shadow over here on this side. Let me mark over the line art here. Shadow here. This is just background. With this artist, he does it a little differently. He's filled it in with black, but that is just to show distance. That's not important. But what is important is shadows. Sun is coming from up here, or a light coming from here. Create these. We have shadows here. These all in shadow. The way that the artist creates his shadows, his line weights. See that the light is coming from this way. He's filled it in a little differently on that side. With the highlights. He's looking up. He's got the highlights on his face. Shadow created by his neck. He's got two different light sources. This is also something that the artist, I noticed, does, is he creates a shadow right here. Not necessarily always necessary. You have to look for his lines. See how he does his lines right there? So his eyes are in shadow. This is in shadow. He's added those shadow lines through there. Of course, where he's marked shadows is also can be used for texture to add a variance in his line art. But we have our direction. Marking it all up makes no sense probably to some, but you can see all of our shadow work is going down this way. And this guy probably has a light. These are probably lanterns in here. That's creating the light, the rim lighting on him. This guy is in almost complete shadow. And the reason why that these people are in shadow, if you notice how we start doing our blocking, you'll see these kind of tricks in animation as well, of how they do certain scenes, because it's all kind of the same thing. It's all art, but our base color is, I'm going to use this blue, and it's going to be our sky. We'll get a good heavy light source, this color. That's going to be what I'll be using to kind of color over the flats with. It'll be a bright, almost white color. And then we'll just go over the flats. Again, that's what this is, the flatting. Which I think this is almost done. I'm not sure what that is. The ground? He's flying, so I'm assuming it's in the air, but I'm guessing it's the ground. I guess it's a rocket. Look at page 21. I don't have page 21. I don't have page 21. It looks like when I try to draw a seal. I can see it. Oh, great. Now I can't unsee it. I'll tell you what it is. It's going to be some rock. We'll put a different shade, just a little shade, different shade. And when I go to turn it in, if there's any edits, it's not a hard thing to fix. Sometimes I've seen colors that get a little worried when they color something because they zoom in and in their heads they're thinking, this is a really big picture. And so when they get edits to recolor like maybe a background, it's devastating to some of them. So it's just like, oh, it's so much, like it's an entire background. Like if it's a sky or something, oh my goodness. But you gotta think like it's only a few inches. And in this case, size doesn't matter. Color the sword. Can't miss the swords. Color this smoke right here in the background. I think that'll be the last thing I have to flat on here. I will say in the beginning when I started doing coloring, I had no idea what I was doing. I just was like mimicking basically, learning what other colors were doing. And certain colors would just kind of stick out to me and I would try and emulate their styles. Later becoming actual friends with those colorists over the years. Sometimes even working on the same book. Full circle. You learn from them, then you go and you work for them. You can hear my Leo in the background. A few inches makes all the difference. Well, Not in comics, my friend. Not in comics. There was once that I had to recolor a face, and it was justified, like, because the lighting wasn't right, and so I went to go and recolor it, and I was thinking that took a long time to color that face in the beginning. I was just starting out. I had no idea what I was doing, so I was a little upset about it. And then when I went to go back and recolor it, I really thought, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's only a couple inches. And it wasn't even a couple inches, just maybe an inch. It was like this. Looks like it'd be a lot, but it's not. We'll color these effects here too. That explosion. Make it look all fun. You can see the sketch lines. That's how you know that he drew this by hand, not digitally. I mean, other than the fact that, it doesn't look digital. Some people can't tell. But that's one way that you can tell, because these lines that go through, that's on the paper. Those are guidelines. This will be an interesting thing. Color these with his style. It'll have to be something I'll have to do with it to make it work and not, kind of make it blend in. And right now what I'm doing is called a color hold, or knockouts, line holds. There's all sorts of names. Some people just say color the line art. Just take your pick, whichever. And some artists out there do not like you to do this. I've gotten some pretty nasty emails before for coloring line art. Like, whoa, chill out, man. You just be like, oh, you ruined it. If I wanted it colored, I would have colored it. Alright, we won't color the line art. Some artists get a little testy over things. I won't name names. I remember when I worked at the studio, we had a guy that just did not like effects or anything on his line art. If there was a light, you couldn't do any sort of effects over his line art. He did not want anyone touching it. for now, that's the color that you'll be. Unless I want to change it later. Which I may. Don't want you to be that color. Alright. Those are the effects. I'll throw another one right there. On this little feller. This explosion. Meteor? No. I think I know who this is. That's right, I just said who. Dun, 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 dun. It's Indiana Jones. It's his last crusade. Missed one. By that I mean a piece of the line art. Ooh. Excuse me. That actually looks really cool how it comes down like that. Alright, now time for all the good stuff. That depends. In my opinion, the hardest thing to color. It really just depends on the artist. Art style, I would say, over anything is where it gets complicated. If you can't read it in the line art, it's just going to be very difficult to color. Now, as far as subject goes, again, I don't know. I just take a different approach to how I do it. I guess maybe in the beginning it would have been faces, but there's little tricks and stuff that I've learned since working at Hi-Fi that helped out with coloring different faces. Because when working at the Hi-Fi studio, you get just different artists every project that you do, and you work maybe 2 pages, 6 pages, 8 pages, however many. Sometimes I've worked 12, and they're always different artists. You work with it's anyone that works at DC Comics, so you work with the best ones, and at times you work with the worst ones as well. So they're there, and but different styles and stuff, I would say, is where it gets a little more tricky, other than a certain kind of a subject matter. it's you just kind of follow the rules for the most part. Um, Rules being, depth, hue, saturation. Make sure that everything just fits, looks right, how it's supposed to be. It's a hard thing to really narrow it down, because I know that when I first started out, I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then you start doing project after project after project, and then after a while you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And then you try to explain it to other people, you're like, well, when I get to an understanding of it, I'll be able to explain it better. Nope, because that's just how it is. It's just like any job, you do it so much that you just know what to do. You don't even think about it. It used to be that I would just look at a page and really think it out. Go and look up other colors to see how maybe they handled certain things. Just educate myself as much as possible. I mean, it's kind of like how you do in college. You do the research. Here's the assignment. Go do the research. You're looking for all your own material, all your reference that you need. Cite your sources, kind of a thing. And so this is kind of how I started out. Just learning based off of repetition. Because I think of the studio back when doing Future's End, I mean, it was like a full-time job. You're doing, 2, 3 pages a day, 4 pages sometimes. It did make things real confusing though, because I knew the characters of DC Comics, like I knew of them, their origins. I mean, I knew their height and weight and eye color, so I guess that's saying something. But I didn't know much as far as stories go, because they would always retell the stories or tell them differently and kind of rehash things. And then when working at Hi-Fi, you get all these different DC things that are coming your way, and they're from just all over the different places, and it was hard to keep track. I colored I colored Robin as a bazooka once. And the thing is that you get the pages and you don't really know what's going on. You do get the script to it. But I remember when I opened it up and I saw Batman using Robin as a bazooka, I was like, what is going on in this? It was a very unexpected thing. It's not often that you see Batman manhandling Robin the way that he was. Not often, but it's been done. Color him all in shadow right here. It looks like light source. I'm guessing the moon? Couldn't be the moon. It has to be a bright light. The moon's not going to create a shadow. I don't care how bright it is. I mean, it could create a shadow, but not one like that. Maybe. I guess it was a pretty big moon. On a different page. blend his wings a bit, so that way they don't just have hard lines, hard edges throughout. I don't know if you have seen this yet. You may have, but for future use, I'm going to go ahead and play this little video.
Hocus, hocus, the greatest magician the world has ever known. Such amazing feats, a captive audience. But it wasn't always so, was it? We had a deal, Mr. Hocus. Don't forget who made you. Hocus, hocus.
Wow. Wasn't that something? Yeah, that is a bitchin' trailer. They did a really good job on that. SourcePoint, man, they seem like a good group of people. I don't know them well. I've never done work with them actually until just recently. They seem like a good group of guys. I like how they do things. I like how they like the creative process. How they enjoy the art of it, if that makes sense. Like some publishers, they're just like, yeah, I don't really care what it looks like. Do you have good numbers? It's like, oh, well, you just care about the matrix of it. And I get it. I get that as a business point. But when that kind of just becomes like your thing, then you're not doing the art thing anymore. You're just doing the money thing. And money things usually just end when the art thing stays forever. That's how you get cult followings. With your artistic endeavors. Got a little something else that I'm going to show during this stream, and I'll probably repeat it a few times. But it's a video short that me and an old college friend who went on to become a director, that we got together and we decided we would make a documentary. And it wasn't a bad idea. It was a good idea. We did really well. We went around and interviewed people, got some good material, and it is something that we have always talked about going back and touching on and doing. Just life kind of gets in the way, and things change. People move. Jobs are had. Just things happen. And it's a documentary. It's not like it's got to be set in stone of when it happens. It was just, it's a thing. It's happening, and it's going to continue, I guess, to happen. Really. But I have some footage from that time of doing this, and they always had some like good things to say in it. Just something that was just really good about it. And you'll see what I mean when I show it on here. Just gives you like a little insight into how comic people, I guess, live their lives, or what started it. Just to find out more about the people that do this stuff. And what I'm going to show you is actually from Tim Townsend. You may know the name, and he's an inker. He has been inking forever. He's worked at Top Cow and Marvel, all the big ones. And we got a good interview from him about what really kicked it off for him, like what made it, click for him, how he started and stuff. Basically, what my friend did, we'd go to their house, would set up a couple of cameras, and it's a different color. We'd set up a couple of cameras, and we would just casually ask questions, certain questions, until like something would click, and it gets the ball rolling, and then they just kind of open up and start talking. Which is neat. It tells a good story. We're not just cogs in a wheelhouse. We have lives. We have feelings. You prick us, do we not say ouch? So, if you're just tuning in, this is, again, a test. This is streaming actually right now on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube at the same time. That's right. I figured it out. Just to see if things could work simultaneously. It does seem like before what was happening, and why that it would start to slow down and lag, is because I was recording at the same time. And my computer said, look dude, you've got 12 browsers open. You're running Photoshop with a 480 megabyte file size, and you've got 5 of them open. And you're recording a video at HD quality. It can easily be a couple of gigs in a couple of hours. So something I guess had to give, and my computer was like, no more of this. We're done. So that's why it would start to lag. Didn't process it all. But once I turned that off, everything seemed to be just fine. Been running some tests here also with one of my sons. He's 15, so he gets to get all the private links and be like, is this working? No. Is this working? No. Hold that flashlight, son. God, what's wrong with you? Oh, God, can I just go and play some video games? We're getting to that, son. We're getting to that. Just keep on the flashlight. I don't know necessarily what this is, that stuff. I'm going to assume that it's like a trail, you know, explosion. What's it called? That? I think it's that. The kaboom effect. Shockwave. We were all personally attacked with the flashlight bit. I think that's the reason why I hate working on cars. Something's wrong with my car, I'm like, someone burn it. I don't care. I'm not holding the flashlight. A flat tire? Nighttime? It's gonna wait until morning. We'll just sleep in the car. And this is the kid's shadow, not a person. A shadow. Which I may get rid of the line art, I'm not sure. Give it like a little fuzziness effect to it. So that way it's kind of blurry. Blurry shadow. As it would be. We're not going for realism here, man. We got big giant gargoyles, robots, vampires. I don't think zombies yet. There is orcs. And a kid with a squirrel suit. This book has it all. So eventually, something I'd like to do is I make things. Occasionally, I make things myself. One of those being like music and things like that. Makes my own artwork. At some point, it is in the works, and it is a time-consuming endeavor. But I do have an art book that I will be submitting at one point, but that's going to be quite a bit later. In the meantime, I make other things. One of those things is a mug. You can go and check out the link. I think it should be in the bottom there. If not, if you don't see it, it's fine. I will link it later. But I have a mug. It's got a dolphin, and it's cute. Kinda. It's weird. A lot of people seem to get a kick out of it. I had it in my folders for quite a while, and I was like, I guess I should just do something with this. I went ahead and did the artwork for it. Might as well use it. And so now I have a mug that has a dolphin peeing rainbows. If you'd like to know why that there's a dolphin peeing rainbows, you'll have to go back to the first of this video to find out. That's how you get rewatchability. Mike Tenner? Yeah, he's alright. Me and him, we go way back. 2016, no, 2000, well, it's later than that. 2016, 2015, I think we worked on Dragonfly together. I don't remember what year it was, honestly. I know it's quite a while back. And it was his first writing gig that he ever did, and I remember it was so adorable. He came and was just like, "How's the script? Is it good?" I lied. No, no, it was neat actually seeing how far that he's come. That he's really just built himself. He pushed for it so hard, and he's come a long way. And the volume that he produces is just amazing. Love the guy. He does good stuff. It was Dragonfly was his first one, and that's the one that I got to work on with him. I've done covers for him since then, and some other people that we were all kind of just associated with, and I think that's about it. Just covers, and that first book for quite a while until fairly recently. He was having trouble finding a colorist actually for this book, and he didn't think that I would be able to do it because he knows me as a superhero colorist, I think, mostly, because that's where most of my background came from. When me and him used to talk a lot, and so he's like, I don't know. If you want to try it, give it a try. And so he sent me a cover, and I colored the cover of it. And after that, he was like, "Okay, you're fine. You can color the interiors." So that practice page, which I usually don't do, especially if I know you. I mean, gonna make me do a practice page? What's that? But he pays, so that's good. There's some people out there that they'll want you to do a test page to see if you're a good fit, and it's like I got 10 years of work there and a portfolio. Just look around. I should say something. But if they say I'll pay you for the test page, and it's like, oh, okay, well it's doing the work. So and some guys just don't want to. They don't want to pay for it. Because in their head they're like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Which, sorry, bro. It's on you. Sorry, bro. Oh, look at that. The blue goes on smooth. Alright. My art book will be a Kickstarter thing at some point. It's a long endeavor of what it is that I'll be doing with it. I have things actually that's printed out for this whole thing. I have a poster that's sitting above my computer right now of the original artwork. I actually have cushions made of the artwork as well. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but yeah. Got all sorts of merchandising. But the art book will be a thing that's like a companion piece along with a musical soundtrack to go along with it. And it'll be a nice book, an art book. You'll have music, and then you can fan out and buy all the other stuff as some people like to do. I get the irony of being someone who is not a very materialistic person selling materialistic things. But I got bills, man. I got bills. And I think some color from this. Will look nice. We'll go with that red color. Red and blue makes a good combo. How many times have people tried to pay me in exposure? Quite a few times, especially when first starting out. It was almost like just a thing that ended. It just became a thing that ended the conversation right away. Is that we don't have the funds, but we can definitely, pay you an exposure, and it is a thing. And at certain points, I would let them know that there's no guarantee in it for me to do it for exposure. But a lot of them try to talk really big, like this is going to be the next Superman. It's like, no, it's not. Your guy's name is Kent Clark. It's just that's not how it works. But yeah, that happens. It used to happen quite frequently. You would, they don't have the funds, they don't have a budget, but they're looking to do and blah 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 blah. And the thing is that I think when Kickstarter and all of those really started coming out, you don't really have the excuse now to say that you don't have the budget, because most people go out and use Kickstarters to help fund it, to help pay for it, and they just kind of do their thing, use those funds to send it out to the get it printed and whatnot, help to pay for future endeavors. I've been fairly fortunate. I've only ever been, I think, screwed over twice before in 10 years, but I was already kind of prepared from doing it in 2005 is when I first started, so I kind of already knew what to look out for. But when I started up again in 2013, I didn't get screwed over, but just maybe twice throughout. So it wasn't a big deal. And one of them was just because it was just the guy. The guy was just known for screwing people over, and I just really liked his art style. Fucking get catfished by a guy's art style. But the thing is, with that guy's art style, that book would have looked so good. The pages for it were getting attention, and it was just the publisher. It was a big fiasco. I'm actually not supposed to talk about it because there's lawyers and stuff involved, but it's years ago. But unfortunately, I didn't get paid for doing it. It was one of those ones that you get paid for after the work is done. And then it became, excuse after excuse after excuse. I'm sorry, I can't pay you right now. You'll just have to wait until I get paid next week. It's like, alright, well, whatever, I get it. Things happen. And then eventually it was just, he wasn't paying anyone anything. And then I think he got blacklisted, because I don't ever see him online with his artwork anymore. Which is sad, because he was a good artist. He could have actually done something. Alright, you want to see a cool little video thingy? This is going to be Tim Townsend, and by behind the scenes, comics behind the pages.
My name is Tim Townsend. I'm primarily an inker, illustrator. I've been at Marvel Comics for about 20 years now. I got into comics when I was about 4 years old. My father bought me one of those little 3-packs that you used to be able to get at the 7-Elevens. It was always the crappy comic books on the outside, but there's a chance you might get that cool one in the middle. You never knew what it was. It turned out to be this old Charlton Comics E-Man, and it had a backup story in it called Raj 2000 by John Byrne. I was only 4 years old. Something about that art, like, just set something off in my head. I think it was a little weird for a 4-year-old kid to kind of pick up on not just art, but an art style. But something about his art just got the ball rolling for me. And right at that point, I decided I wanted to draw comic books when I grew up.
There you go, buddy. I had to give my dog a treat. For being a good boy and not barking through the live stream. Because he's been on a little kick this morning. He must have seen some animal outside and was like, I must become friends with you. Bark, bark, bark. Come here, bark, bark. He doesn't mean anything by it, he's just trying to be friends. I have another interview with Matthew Warlick. He's an artist as well, and he worked on a book called Atomic Robo. And our thinking was, when we were doing the documentary, was that we'll get different viewpoints of the different people, different artists, different levels of like where they're at in their career. Because like Tim Townsend, he's been doing it for several years, and he got in on it, I think, when in the 90s in the comics boom. And so he's got like a different perspective on it, especially as an inker than someone, say, like the artist for an indie book. And especially when it's their like first time starting out and stuff. So you get like the different perspectives of all the different kinds of people that do it in the business. And over my own experience, that varies greatly. Because a lot of us, we just kind of do it at home. And we're home a lot of the times. When you go to work, you make yourself some coffee maybe, and then you head into your office or wherever you have your computer at, just start working. Maybe crank up some tunes. Maybe go and exercise or something. And we are at 11 minutes and 6. My dog is getting a little restless, so I'm going to play this as I work here. Enjoy this. This is mine. This is an original.
Dear Mother, I am feeling
had to go and put my little guy out. Do I prefer working remotely, or do I like the office setting? Well, funny story. In 2019, I was done with comics. I had been doing it for 8 years, and that seemed like a really long time to be doing it. And so I was just kind of done with doing it. And my dog out there barking now. And so I wanted to quit making comics and do an office job setting. And COVID happened. And then everyone started working remotely from home. So I just said, I guess I'm just going to keep doing comics then. Because I hated just being home all the time. You kind of want to get out, you want to go and do something, maybe. At least have a different, environment than just the one that you're always around. Because you come home, and you come home, it's relaxing, it's a different place than work. But when you come home from work as a freelancer, you just basically go to a different room. I know that there's some people out there, they rent office space for that very reason, is that you get kind of like a cabin fever of just staying inside all the time, and your environment is just your home all the time. But I try to, for the most part, for myself, I like to kind of space things out. Like every 2 hours, go and do a different thing. Or at least try to. It doesn't mean like to go and do something for something different for several hours, just to go and break up the monotony of sitting at your desk looking at pixels and the same old every day. But yeah, I tried to actually get out of it. I did get a job interview in 2019, and I was kind of wrapping things up with comics. I wasn't taking on new gigs because I was kind of phasing myself out of it, and I was just kind of on the gigs that were just, that I'd already had, and I was wrapping those up, and got a job interview, and then 2020 happened, and then the Arizona where I was living at got completely quarantined, and so I was just like, huh. And then a friend offered me a job to go and move computers and stuff into people's homes so they can work from home, and I'm just like, I already work from home. I don't want to work from home anymore. So now I just went ahead and decided instead what I'll do is I'll move to Oklahoma during a pandemic for a different environment. Break up all the monotony of everything that you see constantly. It's like, oh, I've been down this street before, I've been down this street, so I'll move to a different state. See how that goes. So far, not bad. Kind of enjoyable. I like the scenery. My dog's a little bit nutty. That's okay though. This stream has gone on for longer than its intended purpose, but sometimes you start something, you just kind of want to go through with it, finish it up. And page 20 is finished, so that's good. I want to finish up this page, and then for this evening, I got a couple more pages of Wrath to finish up, so we can get this book done, sent out into the palms of people who know how to read and look at pictures and enjoy good storytelling. Mike brings fun stories. Sometimes you work with someone and you're just like, I don't really like your writing, but whatever. I'll do the work because I got bills to pay. Sometimes you got to do a job that you don't like, but at least Mike, when he comes around, you know you're getting something that's fun. Sometimes you'll turn a page and just be like, what the hell? What's going on here? I was quite surprised in one of the pages that when I turned it to, because it was a scene change and it was an orgy. That's right, folks. My name is Wrath. There is a vampire orgy. I think that sells itself. There's a big robot too, and there's fighting, but there's a vampire orgy, so that's fun. There's boobies. Leo, you need to calm yourself down out there. Here we go. Lucky? Oh, well, that's nice of you to say. It wasn't really by choice. It's just I have been doing this kind of work for so long. When I was probably around 16, give or take, 16, 17, a friend of mine gave me my first computer. I mean, it was a POS, but that's not the brand either. That is a piece of, and so he gave me that computer and for free, and it was very nice of him. He just built it as spare parts. It didn't have a tower, it just kind of sat there, and I used a penny to start it up with. I would have to put a penny inside of these little, I don't know what you'd call them, connectors. I guess that's what they were. And I'd put the penny in between these two connectors, and then you'd have to push the power button so that way it would turn on. Otherwise, without the penny, it wouldn't turn on. And when I would do something like this, I couldn't actually use the regular lasso tool because it would just stop working and it would finish your selection. So you'd be, using your lasso tool, and then it would just stop. And then when you were done, it would be outside of the lines and stuff, so you couldn't actually use it very well. And I remember that when I was working on my artwork, I didn't have a scanner, so I used a camera to take pictures of my artwork so I could try and figure out how to color it. And I didn't know at the time how to color, so I was trying to color in between the lines. It wasn't easy to do. In fact, it was impossible. That's when I learned that you have to have clean art, you have really bright light, and that people weren't using a camera to put their artwork inside of the computer, because I didn't know that either. I didn't have internet. So I had to learn it all on my own, and at one point, things would start clicking. Click, click, click. And then I just kept learning and learning and learning. So I've been doing this, since 17, doing artwork coloring, and then eventually I took classes in graphic design in high school, and that led to me learning more about computers and print. That's when I started learning about how to use a printing press how to use a Mac computer, how film worked, and my instructor would put me on an airbrush for special occasions to airbrush things. First time I ever used an airbrush, but I remember airbrushing Homer Simpson a lot. And let's see, after high school, I went on to go to college. When I was there, I did a lot of graphic design stuff. My second year, during summer, my boss came to me and asked if I would teach a Photoshop class. She knew that I was always messing around with Photoshop. And so I went and did that in my second year to go and teach a Photoshop class. It's a bit ironic. Go in there to learn about Photoshop and then you end up teaching the class. But I did that in college, learned the graphic design, and then after that, I moved to Arizona and went back into printing with printing press, big giant, huge presses, like bigger than a car. And then after that, I worked security for a bit, and then right back into comics. I worked for Atlantis Studios, I believe is what they were called. I don't think they're around anymore. They got in trouble. And I think I helped to get them in trouble because they weren't paying their people. But eventually, after that, I worked at a university as their tech support, and some people saw me drawing, some managers and stuff, and then they wanted me to start creating logos for them. So I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And then that took off into a different direction to where I was doing graphic design work for them, for the whole company actually, and still being paid customer service wages. Like I was leading a team of people, of graphic designers, and they still wanted to pay me only graphic design or the customer service wages. I was like, but I'm doing 4 different jobs here. Yeah, but you're only going to get paid for that one. And then after that, I went and started doing this. And I discovered, wait a minute, you can make money? No, you can't, but you can pay your bills, I guess. That's a good thing. No, it's not so bad. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy it more when you get a good group of people to work with. I have worked on books that were beautiful looking art, but sometimes the people just really suck to work with. They'll be rude or whatever. Sometimes just they're not very professional, and so they're just not fun. They're just not fun to work with. So when you get with a group of guys that are fun to work with, that you guys can enjoy what it is that you're doing and enjoy the process, man, it makes it so much better, and it makes it worth it. A blood or regular orgy from the issue before. Yeah, was there blood? I don't know. I don't think that there was blood involved, so I think it was just a regular vampire orgy. Lame. Whatever. Guy on his motorbike. He looks kind of cool. He got a nice little helmet. Looks like he's trying to impress this kid. Like, look at my bike, dude. Oh, that's a really great bike. Yeah, I know. I got it in the desert. From a horse with no name. At some point, I do have some other news. My album, that's right, I make music on the side for just my own purposes. I like doing it. I've been doing that since high school as well. When I went to high school, I went to what's called night school. It's where you do 4 hours a night at school instead of going during the day. And so I did 4 hours of night school, and one day they brought this instructor from Oklahoma City that makes music using software. And I just really was fascinated by it. I think it was called Fruity Loops. I think that's the one that he used. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that was it. And when he brought it in, I was just so fascinated by how you're able just to manipulate sound and stuff. And I was listening to, as most young teenagers do, Sebastian Bach, and so I was interested in, this different way of making music, but kind of incorporating the same methods that Sebastian Bach was doing. And I remember that instructor coming up to me after class and was listening to a lot of my stuff. And he was very encouraging, saying that like I had a knack for it and stuff like that. And I remember at home I had a keyboard that my dad got me from a garage sale, and one of the keys was broken off of it, so it was just basically a little circle pad. But I still used it to try and create music and songs and stuff. And I got pretty decent at it, to a point that I could hear a song, and with a few tries I'd be able to pick it up and start playing it. And then when I went to college, my friend James helped me to play guitar, because he played guitar and he played it really well. And so he taught me a little bit on guitar. I've always been interested in making music, so continued that little passion. Bossa Nova for the win. Spray. It does look like a futuristic Vespa. By default, his eyes will be red. That's just, anytime I see circle goggles, they're red. Look throughout all of my previous work on anything I've ever done. I can almost guarantee you that anyone with circle goggles is going to have red lenses. On this note, I think that I'm going to end the stream here soon. I've gone 30 minutes over my intended goal. I do thank you for joining in. We did finish up that page, got to see some cool stuff, and hopefully hear a good song. I'm not sure if that song was actually working on your side, because I have been messing around with settings in here. But at some point, I will have my entire album up for sale. I'll have more information on how you can get that at a different time. But over this week, I finished mastering it, so sound quality is nice. There's no weirdness to it. Well, there's weirdness to it because it's kind of weird music, but There's no like weird sound issues with it, which is nice. It doesn't sound so flat, if that makes sense. I guess if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. If you know, you know. And I've never learned how to read sheet music before, and that would have been really beneficial. I know it would have. But then some person decided to say to me, well, Michael Jackson, he never could read music or play instruments. He just created all of his own beats with his mouth. Like, no, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Okay, dokie. Well, good to know. He had a whole musical pop king, and he never could play an instrument, and he couldn't read music. Go figure. It did fly by super fast. But we did finish that up, flatting it and coloring it. And now we'll flat this one. This is going to be a little bit busier of a page, and it will be boring to flat, I promise. It's going to be boring. This is reds, whites, oranges, yellows, greens. It's just going to be a very colorful looking first panel. Ooh, sneak peeks. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, well, thank you for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Well, weekly. Eventually, the plan is that once grow in numbers and get more audience members, get this more videos, because this is how the algorithm works, is you produce a lot of stuff, a lot of content, and then eventually it just starts to shovel itself out there into the ether. And so eventually I'd like to do mornings once a week and nightlies as well. So thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.